Man, where has the time gone? It seems as if, I don't know, we were fighting two pandemics, marching, changing state flags, the whole nine. And so now to be back here in person, I'm just overwhelmed. There's a feeling, overwhelming feeling of gratitude, just happy to be here and moving in the right direction.
Madison talked about how she didn't really have the understanding or grasp of how last season would be until she was in it. Players faster, stronger, a little bit better than her, but she seems to know how to expect this season. Do you sense that in the summer, that she's kind of more prepared for this season?
Maddie, out of everyone, she had the best summer. I mean, she just came back looking like a brand new person. For a long time, I was singing the whole "I don't want freshmen anymore," and then I see Maddie, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess they're fine after a year. So she really worked hard. She took the evaluation that we gave her at the end of the season seriously, and it worked out. I'm really excited about her this season.
It seems like there's a narrative forming out there about expectations for this team.
Yep.
What are your expectations?
Yeah, John Gordon says it best. Expectations are outside influences. My focuses are inside expectations because, when I look at rankings, when I look at outside opinions, those people are outside. Only us, we know where we are and where we're trying to go. So for me, what's important is how we feel after every practice. Did we feel like we got better as a staff? Do we feel like we put them in the best situation? Because the proof will be in the pudding come November 11th. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that is what our focus is. But come on, everyone understands. We've put it out there. It's NCAA tournament or bust as far as I'm concerned. And that's what we preach to the team, and that's what we expect. And so pressure is a privilege.
Some key transfers added to the mix over the offseason, as well as some people getting healthy.
Yeah.
That should be able to help you. How do you anticipate those parts plugging in?
Well, I can tell you this. Every new player, we have one freshman and 3 transfers, will be impact. And I don't know how many people can say that. People ask me all the time, like, oh, which one you think will be more? I can't tell you. They're all, we went out and got positions that we felt like we desperately needed. I spoke about it last year. Point guard play, depth in the point guard position, more prolific scoring, efficiency. And I think we went out and we got that. And then we got some NCAA tournament experience, and that helps. So we're a mature group. AP looks good coming back. I'm excited about her. And Aaliyah is another freshman for us that is coming into her own. So I think since year one, this probably wouldn't be hard to do, but in year 4, this is our most team with depth. That's for certain.
I asked both of your players this that were in here about the benefit of getting that WNIT postseason experience last year. They've all had a taste of the postseason now. Not the one you want, but they've had a taste. How does that help this group moving forward to accomplish that goal you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the one we want this year. Honestly, for me, had we gotten to the NCAA tournament, who would say no to that? But I was extremely excited when we got the NIT bid, because in the NCAA tournament, you don't know who you're going to match up with in the first round. You can be out of there, on a boat somewhere. In NIT, I knew we had an opportunity to get at least 2-3 games. We ended up getting 5 games. I mean, for us, that was just, I don't know how to script it better. It was almost perfect. The icing on the cake would have been us winning the whole thing. Just for our players to hoist up a trophy, nothing else. Like, we weren't going to go out and brag that we won the NIT to the recruits that we're in the mix with. So to me, mission accomplished. I thought we got the experience, they got the exposure. We dealt with adversity, with me being out with COVID first 3 games, and them showing the maturity to figure out how to. I mean, they look like a well-oiled machine. And so we're just trying to build off on that and add on to that with the people that we brought in.
Kind
kind of the flip side of David's question. This is the first time in 4 years you've got most of your core from last year coming back. Just how valuable is that for you as a coach and for your staff?
Yeah.
It's not about install at this time of year. It's
Yeah.
just kind of hitting the ground running.
It's been great, actually. That's one of the things that I enjoy the most. You know, they understand. Last year, we really focused on putting our defense in. You know, this is our system. Now, I see them teaching the newcomers, like, no, we do it like this. This, you know, the newcomers can get in the back of the line. Last year, the newcomers were in the front. So practices have been able to they're going to be shorter this year. So that's something I know they'll be excited about. Be able to work a lot more on skill development, personal player development, so that their tools can be sharp for when we start to compete.
You talked a lot last year about Shakira just kind of clicking towards the middle of SEC play.
Yeah.
How have you seen her kind of continue that trajectory this offseason, and where's she
Yeah.
at now heading into her senior year?
Well, you know, I think all of our players really needed the break after the season. I think COVID put a toll on everybody more than anybody expected. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I encourage them to take, like, 6 weeks off. And, like, Kira took 6 weeks off, where Maddie kind of went into the gym. So Kira kind of is gradually getting herself back into full form, which I'm perfectly okay with it. She's never out of shape, so it wasn't a situation where I was worried if she would get herself in shape. But now she's starting to get into full form. And for me, that's the game slowing down for her. You know, being intentional about every move, that she makes, every shot she takes, every cut, you know, those things are important for me, for the team, and also for her draft perspectives.
Last year, you often talked about how having a much younger team was kind of a big gripe. But now with this more mature team, how much of a difference maker has that just been that you've seen so far?
You know, it's been incredible. You know, it's been incredible for us because of even the way I coach them. You know, when you have a young team, you got to kind of scare them into stuff. This team, I hadn't had to raise my voice, you know, because they have their own self-urgency. They know that this is a window of opportunity for them to be successful with the amount of talent we have that's so mature. Last year, we were the 10th youngest team in the country. So they get that. They understand that. It's been great. It's like having a kid. Like, you like when they get older because then they can get dressed in the morning. But then I still enjoy, you know, helping my 4-year-old get dressed. You know what I mean? But I enjoy that. Yes, my 9-year-old can do it herself too. So it's like a mixture. So I do love the youthfulness. And Maddie and those are still young. I don't think you get really mature in this game until you're like a junior. So we still have that. And then we have the senior leadership with all of the upperclassmen that we have.
I asked both your players this, but the NCAA just opting to finally switch the women's basketball tournament branding to say March Madness.
Yeah.
How much, does that mean to you?
I mean, I don't know how to feel. Like, you know, we've been fighting for some type of equality when it comes to women's sports for a long time. So a part of me is like, what took you so long? And then a part of me is grateful that it's happening. And so this is going to be a consistent fight for us. I think there's no doubt that the women's game is marketable. The Kaplan report came out. The information was in it. It needs to be better. And so hopefully while I'm coaching, I can get to see that and our players get to experience it.
Talked about Shakira's draft prospects, and obviously the stock is high at the end of the season. And she said, obviously, family and friends kind of mention it to her, but she tries her best to just not really. From your perspective, how are you seeing her kind of handle all that talk about her?
Well, luckily for us, we don't get to talk about the NIL. So I enjoy that part. I don't know what they got going on, you know, unless I see them posted on Instagram. So we don't get to talk about that with them, and that has been great for me. As far as Shakira, she understands what she is trying to accomplish. When she came here, she understood the type of maybe criticism or questions she may have gotten. Clearly, she's shown that it was the best decision for her to come. Look at her numbers. And so now it's just following through, keeping healthy, getting stronger, polishing up, like she said, the things that she needs to do. I think for Shakira, I don't think anyone's questioning her talent anymore. Now, if she wants to go number one or top three, we need to win. And so she needs to be a part of that. And so when you hear her talk about the team and wanting to be a good teammate and all, she has to do those things if she wants to go as high as we all expect her to go.
How much easier is it, or what's different about coaching now that we're kind of on the other side with COVID compared to last year when we were?
Oh my gosh. Well, I learned a lot about, being locked down. So I learned a lot. I learned how to better manage my time and use my time. Some of that I got from just working with the Bahamian national team too. Like, we have 2 weeks and then we got to compete against some of the best in the world. So, but it was a great experience. Last year, even though we couldn't get out, we really valued our time. Now we're valuing our time so that we can get out. You get what I'm saying? So you couldn't get out, so when you can get out, you valued your time. Now my players, when we're in practice, they really want to hone in so that they can enjoy the rest of their evening. So it's definitely a different energy as far as the team's concerned and the program, in general.
Are y'all at 100% vaccines, or kind of what has the process been like with vaccination?
Yeah, we're 100% vaccinated. I didn't make a big deal about it because at the end of the day, it's enough people putting stuff out there about that. Our whole program is, we don't celebrate it. We educate them just like everybody else and hope that they all make good decisions for us and for themselves.
How much peace of mind does it give you knowing that you can go into the season and you won't have COVID sort of affect you the way it did at the beginning of last season?
Incredible. It is incredible, especially knowing that our last two just got vaccinated. So now if you had asked me this yesterday, I would have been kind of stressed because now with the state laws, you may not be able to take some of your players to certain places like California or even the private schools in New York. We're going to New York, and so how do you even choose who's going to start and who's going to play? It's stressful, to say the least. So at least we got that part taken care of. And so, COVID's still out there. Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to go. So we have enough information and resources to manage it, and we're going to do our best doing so.
In terms of how active you are, this is a lighthearted question, on TikTok and sort of with your players making TikToks,
Yeah.
are you sort of the commander-in-chief in that regard of getting those started?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I went and hired my commander-in-chief, Anna Grooms, and she's over there. She is over at TikTok and all of our social media and content creation. So, and she texted me this morning. It's the first day of practice, and she goes, I hear my phone beep, so I'm like, oh, this is a practice question. She goes, Coach, I just want you to know we hit 1.6 million views on our last TikTok. So she's been on that. I kind of do my own thing. I'm not as popular as the girls are. I kind of do it to stay relevant and try to reach as many masses as I could.
Do you have fun making them?
I do. I have a blast. TikTok's addicting, so I try to stay. I'll go because you can watch it for days, like TV. So, and people are so creative, and so I enjoy it. And then I have the discipline to cut it off and do something else. So.
Do you think doing that with your players translates into maybe some looseness you have during practice and things?
Oh, yeah. Well, not in practice, but as soon as practice is done, yes. Yeah, of course. They'll say, oh, Coach, we need to do a TikTok. Or I'll see something and I'll say, oh, guys, we need to do this. And they all enjoy it. So, we have to have fun. One thing the pandemic taught me last year is, you got to have fun sometimes and loosen up. So we try to do that as much as possible.
How big is that? with the social media age for you and the program, what Anna's doing in terms of recruiting?
Oh, it's huge. That's why I hired her. It's just because I saw where this was going. I called this like 2 years ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're too much on social media." Andy Landers, all those guys. And now, if you're not on social media, like, what are you doing? You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not relevant. I'll tell you that, because that is how you get out to people. Through social media. And so I saw where we were going. I'm really grateful that Keith and Jen Saxon and those supported the vision and allowed me to bring in Anna. She's been tremendous. Our recruits love it. They want access, just like any other show that may be on TV that you're given access to, right? So people want access, and we want them to have access, and we want our players to have exposure, because in that way, at least we can help them as far as their own personal business with the NILs and stuff. They need exposure. They need people to see them, and we provide that.
Any further questions from the room? We have one from Zoom, if not. All right, Adam, you can go ahead.
Kind of throwing up a question from earlier. Just looking at the team this year, what have you seen from Yolett and Collins coming into this season?
Yeah, well, Snutter looks great too. Snutter, when Snutter first came back, we got her with our dietitian, and now she's really feeling herself because she gained 5 pounds. I don't know if you can see it, but she feels it, and so she looks really strong, and she looks really experienced. So I'm excited about her. Donetta really got into the groove of things, and we loved where she was going. Unfortunately, she broke her foot, so she's out for 6 to 8 weeks, and so she'll be back end of November. So we'll miss the first month with her, but that's why I'm excited about our depth. We have some other players that are really stepping up and filling those spots.
Any further questions for Coach? Oh,
And I can tell you guys this, like our team, we're different. I can't wait for you all to see our group. We're deep in a lot of positions, a lot of experience. I couldn't tell you who our starting 5 would be today. I probably can name 3, but the other 2 are still questionable. They're competing really hard. We're excited. We're grateful that we have 10 TV games. We have high expectations. If you look at our schedule from last year and even the year before to this year, we're open up against a team that went to the second round of the NCAA tournament. So we're ready. We'll be ready to compete, and we're just excited about getting fans back in the pavilion and being able to play a high-level brand of basketball. This is year 4. Year 4 is the year of stability. So last year was proof of concept. This year is to show that we're going to be around for a long time. And hopefully you see that when you see us play.
You mentioned Donetta, everybody else healthy.
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah, hopefully. They're not, yeah, hopefully. Because it was like she kind of just went up and landed. And the last thing I remember doing was fussing at her because she loves to wear these low tops. And I'm like, no more low tops for you. You're always twisting your ankle. And then we get a call saying it's fractured. So she had surgery a week ago, and she'll be back ready to go.
The fracture was sustained during practice.
But yeah, she just went up and came down, not on anyone's foot or anything. We really thought she twisted her ankle or something. And then we got the x-rays back, and it was broken. So you just got news off the press. I was hoping no one asked about it. Thanks, Adam. I was going to see how long I was going to be able to keep that a secret.
Okay.
No problem.